Well, after seeing the Snyder Cut, we can just say bye to this. So, I'm going to break down this movie. Spoilers, if you didn't know, I actually filmed a video before this, but it was all over the place, mixed emotions. I just got out of it. So I just actually watched the movie. I put it on at 1 and just got done with it about 25 minutes ago. The big question, is this better than the original? Yes, this movie is a lot better than the theatrical cut in every single fucking way. So I'm going to do a separate video soon doing a movie versus movie with that. So we're not even going to talk about the original cut at all. We're just going to talk about this film and what the really great things about it is. And there's one little problem, and that's it. So bear with me here. Might be a little lengthy, but you know what? Who cares? So, Zack Snyder's Justice League just came out on HBO Max. I had one little quick problem with it, like getting it to go, and it buffered a bit. This is why I like physical media. It's not the film's fault. Nothing to do with the film. It's just Wi-Fi, and that's why we better get that in physical media as soon as it comes out. So let's talk about this film. Did I enjoy it? Did I hate it? Now, I'm glad to say I really enjoyed it a lot. I got really emotional at times. It was a really, really, really good film. Let's talk about a lot of the things. So, all the characters. This film is a big, emotional, epic type film. So it is 4 hours. So I'm going to get out of the way first. My one con with the film, and it is the 4 hours, right? This film would definitely not work in theaters. We know that. I don't know how they could get to work in theaters. I really don't. I maybe just trim it down to 3 hours and then put it in that way, or do something with an intermission. I have no fucking clue. But this film has to be 4 hours. It's so hard to cut shit out of it. So I understood WB's motivation to like change or like cut the runtime, or I don't fuck WB. I really don't understand why they would not even, after seeing this film and what Zack was trying to do, I don't understand what the fuck they were trying to, why they wouldn't go with it. It's not even, this film is not as dark as Batman v Superman, I'll tell you that right now. But it's dark. So my big con with the film would be the runtime. I'm just trying to think in my head how I want to rewatch it again. I'll probably do the same thing I did now, which was I ended it around after part 4 was over, and it was about the 2 hour and 20 minute, and then I took a intermission about 10 minutes, and then we got back into it. So it was kind of hard. Like, that's going to be my way, like how I'm going to figure it, to take a little break and then continue it. But let's talk about this film. Everything that's great. We knew the cinematography was going to be really incredible. We knew the visuals, Zack Snyder, and the action, it's all there. We knew shit that we knew going into the film is going to look amazing. Another thing that really was incredible is Junkie XL's score. I know I said not going to do comparisons, but Danny Elfman's score, fuck that film. However, I had one tiny little nitpick with the score for Junkie XL's, and the thing is, I didn't really care for, like, I love the Wonder Woman theme in the film, and I thought it was cool, and I was so glad we got to hear the Superman theme back and amped up. But that shit they added in for Wonder Woman's theme, it's cool, but for me, as a moviegoer, I didn't respect it as much as I got it that they were trying to go for like an ancient Amazonian call, or like callback or throwback or something to that. I understood that, but for me, I don't know. It took me out a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. So I really thumbs up to Tom Holkenborg for the score. He did an incredible job. Some badass heavy metal type style music. Yeah. Let's talk about the characters and the actors. So Ben Affleck as Batman, we knew he was going to be good. Well, we thought he was going to be good in the theatrical, but he was a bitch. In this film, it's Ben Affleck, and it's Batman, the right way to do it, and they handled Batman so fucking well, and I'm so happy to say that. So, we'll talk about Superman in a minute. Cyborg. I fell in love with Ray Fisher now as he is an incredible actor, dramatic actor. He chewed up a lot of the scenery and did it the right way. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the theatrical, but the theatrical cut, he had nothing to him, nothing unique to him. I guess you would say in this film, he is the heart of the story. And I kind of teared up when he lost his father and when he got in the accident. And it's sad. And Ray did an incredible job as acting this part of Victor Stone. And he is phenomenal as this character, and we better see him more. WB, get your shit together with him and fucking get him in more movies. We gotta see him more as Cyborg. Ezra Miller as the Flash, I personally liked him a lot more as the Flash in this film. Now, I heard people had a problem with his intro, and I will admit that like some parts kind of seemed a little cringy, weird. How he was looking at Iris in the time that was like really like all slowed down, but I still really liked it, and I really think Ezra is a good Flash. Regardless of what his personal life is with, they call him Ezra Choke Me Hard or Miller with that scandal. That's another story for another day. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I thought he was pretty similar from the theatrical cut. However, he's more badass in this one, and then we get his more likability in his solo film. But in this one, he's just more badass. He's Jason Momoa, badass Aquaman. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, we got the warrior type Wonder Woman back from Batman v Superman and the first Wonder Woman. We got that grace, hopeful warrior Wonder Woman back. I was so happy to see that. I knew we were going to get that because Zack was directing. We didn't get that shitty Patty Jenkins 84 Jeff Johns Wonder Woman that she could fly. I don't know. Let's talk about Henry Cavill as Superman. Arguably one of the best standouts in this film, and this film really feels like a full circle to Man of Steel with Batman v Superman and Justice League. It feels like a trilogy, and I'm glad to say that they handled Superman. Zack did it right. If you're gonna kill Superman in Batman v Superman, make him come back in an incredible way. And what did they do? They did. We'll break down like a lot of the major points in a minute, but as the characters, let's talk about Steppenwolf. We understand his motivation this time around. We see his character design, which looks badass. I really love it. I like how his suit's like an organism. It's organic type material. Then we also get to see the Parademons have a couple different new designs in it, and I thought it looked really well. But his motivations that he owes Darkseid 50,000 worlds, and he's his uncle, and he's just a broken down uncle. It's good. That's how you make a good villain. I still think Zod's the best villain in the DCU as of still, but he's really good. Now, Darkseid, he's kind of behind the scenes, kind of like, I hate to compare it, but Thanos in the Avengers 1 movie, but he looks so fucking good. The CGI in both of these characters look incredible, and one of the things I'm going to tell you, wow, he is scary. He's fucking scary. We'll talk about like that with the end battle and that, but he's scary looking and it's kind of crazy. And we gotta get Justice League 2, we gotta get Justice League 3. Make sure you watch this fucking film. I don't care what the fuck you say. Alright, guys. So, how am I going to break down this film? We're going to talk about the major points of the film. We'll talk about Superman's resurrection, the brief scene with Martian Manhunter, the tunnel battle, and the final battle, and the nightmare shit. So let's start off with the tunnel battle sequence. Way better now. CGI, everything looks a lot better. Batman's handled really cool. I like one of the things they implemented in the story. We all knew the side characters, by the way, were really good. Martha, Alfred, Silas Stone, Lois, they're all really good. We knew the actors, the storylines were going to be really incredible, so I don't need to talk about that. But one of the cool things that they did with Batman was made his gauntlets laser and like those blaster proof, I guess you would say, like with the Kryptonian guns. They took it from the Kryptonian guns in the ship, which was really cool, and they built it into the gauntlets, and I thought that was pretty fucking cool to add in the story. And we see him use it a lot in the tunnel battle sequence, which I thought was really well done this time around. We didn't see anything with, sorry guys, I didn't bring a sword, or anything like that. So I thought that was really well. All the action sequences, we see a lot more cooler looks, visuals, the score amps up the thing. A lot better tunnel battle sequence. I remember seeing the theatrical cut, I'm like, oh, this is okay, just generic. But this one had a lot more stuff to it, and I really enjoyed the tunnel battle sequence this time around. Now, let's talk about, we're going to go into the Superman resurrection scene, all right? And they handled it a lot better this time around, and it was so good. It felt like a redo. the ultimate redo, and how bringing back Superman, they implemented a lot more of the story points about with him with the codex and how they're going to jumpstart it correctly, and that like Flash instead reverses time because the box falls in and then grabs it and touches it and boom, wakes him up, and big explosion occurs, and then Superman lands out by Heroes Park. Now we see a lot more additional scenes in the Heroes Fight or Heroes Park sequence. I thought was a lot cooler, but what I liked was Superman. They that mustache part with Superman and Batman is not in there. Thank God. Thank fucking Lord. What's cooler is Superman. Batman's blocking his lasers with his gauntlet, and I thought that was so cool. And he's like, Clark, we need you in that. And then Lois comes in, calms them down, and they go away. Now, we're going to talk about the Nightmare Part 1, I call it, and then we'll talk about Nightmare Part 2. Nightmare Part 1, we see Cyborg get influenced by the Kryptonian ship and the Mother Box, and he sees some of the future. We see, I did not expect this, Wonder Woman with 2 coins on her eyes, dead, and they're burning her. The Amazons are burning her. Then we also see Superman holding Lois in his arms, and then like in all bones, and then we see Darkseid put his hand on his shoulder, which was wow. I didn't expect this halfway through the film. We see a couple more things, but that was crazy to see. So we see Victor get influenced by the Mother Box, and then we see when he's at the Heroes Fight that like his armor defense mechanism targets him because he saw it from the Mother Box that his armor recognizes Superman as a threat from the future. I thought that was really, really fucking cool. So, we could talk really briefly about the suit when Superman gets his suit back. I really loved it. I'm glad he got the black and silver solar suit. And when he goes up to to the sky and the sun, oh, that visual shot, I love it so much. Cinematography is incredible in this film. Another thing I really want to talk about, we're going to jump real quick ahead because I forgot to talk about it, is the Amazonian chase sequence and the Atlantean chase sequence, and then we'll talk about the history battle real quick. Those two were a lot more expanded than I actually remembered, and wow, they were a lot more impactful. I mean, one of my favorite scenes in the theatrical cut was the Amazonian fight, so I was happy to see that again. But it was just better this time around. And the Atlantean one served more time, and it took Steppenwolf a lot more time to get these Mother Boxes instead of like instant. Another thing I really enjoyed was the history battle sequence. That was really fucking cool. We got a lot more understanding of what Apocalypse is, what Darkseid's motivations are, and everything with that. And I thought that was really fucking cool. Now I want to jump into one part that I missed right before Superman gets his black suit, and it's when Victor loses his father. One of the emotional parts that actually got me choked up and was really sad. What we all thought was Silas was trying to destroy the Mother Box. Instead, he was trying to make a heat signature on it so that the League can track it later on. That was really fucking smart, but then he ends up sacrificing his life, and Steppenwolf ends up getting the 3rd box and goes off to Russia. By the way, no Russian family this time. Let's talk about the final battle. Way fucking better. No red skies, nothing like that. And the action is so much better. We see Batman on a fucking parademon turret, shooting his gun and stuff like that. We see the Flash running around the perimeter, getting ready to do something we'll talk about, which was pretty fucking badass. Then we see Superman come in, and then I'm geeking out right now, but we know that Cyborg's got to pull apart the boxes, and Superman comes in and he's like, I'm not impressed, and saves Cyborg, and wow, what the fuck. Aquaman actually does something in the final battle, which was fucking cool with his trident. Looked really visually cool, and Wonder Woman was going to be a warrior. We knew that, so she looks awesome. And then we have where the League is fighting in that, and Superman just keeps punching him, and then they fuck up. Cyborg screws up, and Flash has got to run back in time, recreate everything, and to stop it. And wow, beautiful. Everything visually appealing. It looked amazing. It really did. I love that idea of running back in time with Barry and that, and getting it right the next time around. That was so fucking good. Now, The resolution was relatively the same. I knew weren't going to get a lot with Batman with his bat tank at all. I knew we weren't going to get a lot with that. You guys know what sequence I'm talking about. We see a shot of Diana thinking about going back to Themyscira. We see Cyborg out of the shell, and he's like ready to be the person he wants to be. We see Barry just running. He's going to be pursuing criminal justice. We know that. And then we see Clark going to be staying with Martha and Lois, and he's happy, and they're married now, which is really cool. And what a good film. Now let's talk about the Nightmare. Now, the Nightmare, well, we'll talk about the Lex Luthor scene real quick that's supposed to be setting up the Batman film. Now, we know in the original cut, Lex Luthor just says, shouldn't we have a league of our own? But in this film, he says his name is Bruce Wayne, and it's trying to set up the Batman film that we aren't getting right now, but maybe, fingers crossed, HBO Max is like, you know what, Ben, come on, let's do it. Let's get it going. But let's talk about the Nightmare sequence. My only minor gripe about the Nightmare sequence is the actual CGI. Now, I understand it's COVID. They didn't have a lot of time to get all this going together. Some of the actors weren't even there. For instance, Superman, that one shot that he comes out in the red and blue suit with his eyes. Fun fact, that part of Superman is from the African warlord battle in Batman v Superman. They just took that and put that in there. And I'm not complaining about that. I understand as how hard it was to get this going. So I understand, and I'm glad. We still got to see a little cool shot of Superman. Some of the CGI on the Joker didn't look that great, but I really liked the exchange of dialogue. Batman saying "fuck you" to Joker, swearing, and he's like saying that keep doing it. I had Harley Quinn in my arms. You know, she told me to fucking kill you slowly, and like, wow. Then we see Mara talking to Bruce, and then we see Cyborg, Flash, and Slade all there, and they're all as a team, and it looks pretty fucking cool. I just want to see the rest of this world. I want to see Justice League 2, I want to see Justice League 3. And then what we see is Bruce wake up, and he's greeted by Martian Manhunter, and they talk and say, like, I'm ready. Martian Manhunter is like, I'm ready to come out. We know earlier in the film that he is Martha Kent, which was pretty cool. Which was weird. That scene never got brought up with Lois saying, like, yeah, that wasn't really me, but I don't think it really needed to be. But one of the big things, though, is the Nightmare sequence. Zack's trying to show this is what's going to happen. So let's see it all, Zack. Let's get Justice League 2 and 3. I don't care if they're 4 hours length each. Let's get it. Let's see it all. And let's look at your vision as a whole of 5 movies, not just 3. But I'm happy with 3 if that's all we get. So let me tell you guys something right now, and then a couple additional things, and then that's it. My overall, guys, my thoughts of this film is it feels like a really big, epic conclusion of Zack Snyder's world. However, it could be really continued, and I hope it is. So, my official rating of Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 9 out of 10. I fucking enjoyed this film a lot. My only 2 little tiny nitpicks is the runtime and a little bit of the CGI here and there. But wow, guys, what an incredible fucking masterpiece of a film. I don't know what the fuck WB was thinking. They're just so fucking stupid and incompetent. They're retarded. They really are. I can't believe, and this is going to make them look like shittier, or like shitty retards anyways, all these people like in the film. Now, my little couple additional thoughts is I just wanted to say thank you, Zack Snyder, for finally we get to see your vision. I thought the 4:3 aspect ratio was going to bother me. It didn't. Thanks, Zack, for this. I was so happy. I finally got to see what I've been waiting for 5 years. I'm completely satisfied. Now, one more thing, though, guys. Make sure you go and support this movie on HBO Max. I'm going to get it as soon as it comes out in physical media. But if you guys want sequels to this and you want the Batman project with Ben Affleck, support the film. Support the fuck out of this film. But, guys, let me know your thoughts below of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part of this film? Like I said, I'll be covering this film a lot more in the upcoming days. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.